Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. 3sb.co, probably our biggest collection ever. Phys Ed Part 2, plus some beautiful new shirts. If you want to check it out right now, that's 3sb.co. Sizes are moving very, very fast, so I cannot guarantee it. If you want to get more involved, you need to join the Discord. 50percentfacts.com has a link to our Discord. Follow us on Instagram, 3rd Street Barbell. Otherwise, you may miss out on your size or the color you like, but we are live. Check the collection out, 3sb.co. All right?
I like the Joe Rogan one.
I haven't had the Joe Rogan, but Killcliff...
I was just cool to see in Austin. I was like, damn, they're going to have a Joe Rogan one, like this hipster shop.
Right. Killcliff, started CrossFit.
Did?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. We're in.
Yeah, Killcliff kind of started in CrossFit. What was the other one? Fit Aid.
Yeah.
Fit Aid,
So I used to chug those like crazy at the CrossFit games, and they both taste pretty good. They don't like hit you like an energy
Wait, you actually
drink,
like the taste of Fit Aid?
I don't hate it. You don't like it?
It tastes like carbonated, crushed up Flintstone gummies, or the Flintstone vitamins.
I low key kind of like Flintstone gummies.
My older son used to take his Flintstone vitamins and hide them in the in our entertainment center, like behind the TV.
Because he didn't like them?
He hated them so much. He would stick them back there. And when we went to move, we pulled the thing out, and they're just like shit ton of at one time damp Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah, I don't know why. I kind of like them. Yeah, because it's probably just a shit ton of vitamins, right? That's
Yeah.
probably why Fit Aid tastes that way.
Yeah.
Fit Aid's
probably
good,
so.
though. It's not the worst one.
No.
What would you say is the worst?
Zoa. And
the
that's
worst tasting?
unbiased, despite me not liking 2022 The Rock. Look, I have a Rock shirt. 2003, Dwayne Johnson was my hero.
Yeah.
2022, Trend Out Johnson is not my hero.
I'm just a big fan because I found out he's natural, so I'm like...
I know you like integrity in your influencers.
Yeah. So I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it.
No, you're right. I saw you. I was really proud of you waking up at 4:30 for a month straight.
I hear he's also organic, like he's like himself. Not know what he eats, just like his whole person is organic.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Well, it means that he eats clean for five.
It means exactly the same thing as him being natural.
So if you don't take steroids, are you considered organic? Like a cow?
We're all organic by chemistry standards.
Well, you eat shit that has...
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but that's like food organic versus... I can't be that smart, but I'm right,
Yeah.
right?
Boy,
When
that's a smell.
Tim told me
Holy crap.
he would take steroids, it really
Timmy?
bummed me out. Yeah.
Damn, dude, he's here, and you're calling him out?
Hey man, it's fine. we're all about honesty here.
We're going to take a second. We're going to introduce ourselves just because.
Yeah, hit him.
I'm Jim. That's Mike.
Oh, yeah, because now there's a lot of voices. thrown
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
And I'm absolutely stoked to have one of my best friends here, Nadeem.
Thanks, man.
You haven't been on, huh?
No, this is oh wait,
We've done so much shit together.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you've been on here or
No.
I
not.
haven't been on this podcast.
Well, you're on now.
And then
Thank you.
young legend,
Hello.
Timmy. Timmy the TikToker? Is it Timmy the YouTuber? Is it Timmy the businessman?
See, you gotta keep up with the times.
Yeah,
So
you're a
I
TikToker.
could be anybody. Timmy the TikToker, Timmy the YouTuber, Timmy the Instagrammer.
Yeah, that's where
like Timmy.
I think the serious convo before we we'll continue to talk shit on The Rock, but that's why we had these two in particular. Not only are they homies, and we have a bunch of guests coming on the show. 50% Facts, ladies and gentlemen, brand new episodes every Wednesday and Friday. But you two, although you're young, have seen a lot of shit in the content and YouTube game, and then we're not as young. And we've also seen a lot of shit in the content game. And Timmy, huge compliment, and it won't come off as sincere, as deep as I do mean it, has one really revolve with the times. And you've done that Gary Vee bullshit where you've just pushed yourself, and you've actually lived that, and you've had success in it, which is fucking rad. Because a lot of people do it, and a lot of people don't have success with it, and then even less people even try. So... hats off to you, buddy, for doing that. Glad to have you guys here.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is my second drink in a year.
This is Silent Mike's branded tequila.
Yeah, coming soon. Organic, natural, only one ingredient.
It's
and
not
it helps.
reposado and it's not brown. It's 50% tequila, 50% whiskey.
50%, fuckery.
Yeah.
What is this company? Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
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 You gotta do it.
Azul?
Oh, Azul.
This is delicious. I just thought I would throw that out there.
Shout out to Mike Shaw, my little bro, for buying this for us. Sorry I couldn't drink with you, buddy, but it's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
This is good.
I waited.
This is good.
I waited a year and a half.
It's delicious.
And I normally don't like tequila, and if we're going to be talking stories about shit we've seen,
Yeah,
like
it's a
the
good
Arnold
start.
at the Olympia and everything, I've got a story about tequila, which is why I hate
Oh, really?
Tequila.
Oh.
So that's like the.
Well, you guys didn't take a shot of it?
Well, I'm not gonna shot it. I mean, it's delicious. I'm gonna sip.
We got another podcast. You can get hammered and then go disappear.
Yeah.
I can't get hammered.
I
got
have a
another
meeting
podcast
after this.
No, that'd be great. If I get you fired, good thing I'm friends with your boss.
They'll get me drunk.
Yeah, just hammered on FaceTime.
They don't mind.
That was kind of the thing in the early days YouTube game.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go to these expos, hopefully paid for, brought to you by, if you're lucky enough, a sponsor. You work all day.
Shout out Quest in 2015.
Shout out Quest when they were good.
20
because we know you're listening.
2014-15 Quest was absolutely banging. That's another one I would just straight spend money on because it was so good. And then you just go and get absolutely obliterated. Yeah, you go to the clubs or different. Even before the YouTube days, different supplement companies would rent out clubs or hotels and run their own parties. Like, oh, I'm going to the BSN party tonight.
Yeah.
I don't.
People get fucked up.
No,
there.
people like to party. I never went to any of those. I don't think you've probably been to a few, just like after parties at some of these events.
Yeah, I've been to one really big one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been to any. I was like pseudo invited or like the homies would go, but I was just so tired because I set up booths and I was first at the booth. VIP at Arnold starts at like 6:30 in the morning or something stupid.
Yeah.
So I'd be banging out 12-hour days. I would just eat dinner and cry. But Timmy probably lived the life a little bit.
I wouldn't say I lived the life or anything, but it's kind of like what you said, where you go there by association. You're just gonna go with everybody there. So we were actually watching this video in the car ride over here, 2015 Arnold.
Can we say that's peak fitness still?
I would say that's
that was
Yeah.
my favorite era.
Yeah, because I don't want to be the old guy that like says that shit, but it was so fun.
Yeah, I would say that's golden age. But everybody was out there with Quest, and first we went bowling. I remember that much, and then everybody knows our boy Max Tuning.
Shout out to Deadlift Bra.
But him and I, we're just trying to get a ride to downtown Columbus, and we're just out there in the cold, middle of the street. Finally get an Uber, and somehow we end up at a gay bar that we did not know in downtown Columbus, and Gymshark was throwing a party there. It's like okay. I'm one of those people. I'm going to try to get sponsorship. Just try to talk to. I think Ben is one of the owners of Gymshark.
Yeah, yeah. Ben Francis, shout out, man.
And then all of a sudden, Christian and do you guys remember Tim Rodriguez? That name sounds familiar?
His homie,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. So they just started buying everybody shots and shots and shots of just tequila.
Christian
And Tim.
Christian likes to throw down, bro.
Yeah, but it was like white tequila, dark tequila, white tequila, dark tequila. Then all of a sudden, I end up in the bathroom. And then I feel this guy like patting my back on everything like that. Do you want some blow to make you feel a little bit better? I'm like,
Don't say names. Don't say names.
This wasn't Guzman.
It wasn't Guzman. It wasn't Guzman. It was some rando.
Was it actually rando or was it in the industry?
Actually rando.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a rando.
I thought you were about to say like
super nice, super nice and everything. But
would you like some blow?
And then Barquan showed up in the bathroom.
But like here I am getting offered coke in a gay bar in the middle of Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, did he mean cocaine or
blow? Oh, no. He meant cocaine.
Okay.
He meant cocaine. I probably should have clarified that.
You want some blowy. You don't really know. You should have just said yes and see where the adventure took you.
But then I remember getting back to the hotel room and I'm locked out of the room. And I fall asleep on the floor outside of the hotel room.
How old are you? Because you were young.
I had just turned 21.
Young and impressionable.
I had just turned 21.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm outside, and then the next morning, the janitorial service are like poking me with their stick. It's like, "Hey, dude, you can't be here."
Oh no.
And I had to go downstairs to get a new room key, but it wasn't in my name. It was in Chelsea Lift's name.
Chelsea Lips and
Chelsea Lips. Shout out Chelsea Lips. But yeah, since then I kind of swore off tequila, but this is good. I like this.
I feel like Chelsea Lips was one of the first to open a gym.
Oh, she did open a gym.
Yeah.
I went there a couple times.
She was like my biggest fitness crush back then.
Really?
Yeah.
She's what? She's Ohio?
She's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I knew it. It all meshes in my brain.
Yeah,
they're the same state. Might as well.
I would drive there a couple times. It was like a nice personal training studio, like 3 deadlift platforms, 3 squat racks. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of potential in it. I just remember it was really cold.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. I mean, you're from Jersey. It's all freezing out there.
I remember at I forgot what year. I think it was maybe like 2016 Olympia.
Yeah.
In Vegas. So same thing happened. Like everyone wants to go to the club after, but I was 20 and I couldn't get in. Like Brad tried to get. I was with Brad at that time. He was trying to get me into the club.
You say that like you were dating.
I was. Yeah. we were working together.
Yeah.
It was exclusive. So he tried to get me in the club. I really didn't want to go.
Yeah. You didn't want it?
No.
Because I feel like when I was 20, I was about it. But then I turned like 22, 23. I'm like, all right.
I was shy, so I wasn't never about
fair.
it. Like even now, we went to a club for one of our homies' birthdays like a year ago, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to go. I don't want to go."
Yeah.
When I get there, I'm buying everyone shots.
Yeah.
I'm like,
clubs are a lot.
There's so
like
much.
if you haven't been to a big club, like
Yeah.
it's a lot going on. Vegas is big. Miami's big.
Yeah. But they tried to get me in. I couldn't make it. They carded me. I was like, "Fuck." So then I
even
went
with
back.
that beard.
Yeah, even with the beard. Yeah, I get carded more with the beard than I do without.
Oh, because they're like guessing.
Yeah. So then I went to the hotel and I forgot I didn't have my key, and it was under Brad's name. The same thing happened. So I was sleeping in the thing. And I tried hitting him up, and at first he was like, "All right, I'll be out in a minute." Never shows up. 5 or 6 hours later, doesn't show up. Right. So I'm just sitting there like fucking like dying.
Yeah.
Like I want to go to sleep. It's like 3 a.m. And I see some people from, I don't want to say who, but from the Quest team.
Workers or like
the
influencers?
workers, like the people that were like, not Ian, the one I was telling you about, but another guy comes out just drunk as fuck crying. And he like, and we knew each other. So I was like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, fuck that bitch. Starts like crying. I'm like, what happened? And he's just like, just telling me everything. And I'm like, God damn. So I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I just sent him to his hotel room. And I go upstairs. Same thing. I fall asleep right in front. But then as people in Vegas, like, come down to this, like, Asian couple, they come. And this guy brings, like, 3, like, girls to his room. And for an hour, I couldn't sleep because he's just they're pounding. You can hear it from the outside.
Vegas is wild.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, in that same time, like Furious Pete took me out for the first time to like gamble and stuff, and
Fierce is a good dude.
super nice guy. I feel like through the fitness scene, I became a man, and like I had all my first experiences with drinking, gambling.
Yeah. Well, when I met you
Women.
when you were what, 18, 19?
17.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So funny.
Yeah.
I had to push your car in reverse.
Cradle robber.
Yeah, I didn't have reverse on my car for a year.
He moves
but
to L.A. I think the first time we hung out, I don't even think you had moved to L.A. yet. You're like about to.
the first time we hung out was the month before Barbell, or the day before Barbell opened.
No,
the
it's
new
even-
location.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because that was the first time you
Yeah.
actually hung out with everyone.
Yeah.
We met at the San Jose Fit Expo like the year before.
But then we like hung when Omar came down. That's when I remember pushing your car everywhere. It was like
I moved then. I was
it
there,
was like 5 months later.
Yeah. I was so like the first month I was in LA, my car, like the transmission fucked up, and I had it for a year. I couldn't afford anything else. It was like $5,000 to fix the transmission, and it was like a Beamer, so it was even more.
Yeah.
And then
That's a sick car though. A little 5 Series wagons. Those are sick.
3 Series wagon.
Oh,
It was
those
even
are
better.
sick.
Yeah. I fucked up. I got it towed and they took it, and I should have kept it. But I remember I went on dates. They would push the car back, and they thought it was cute. I remember me and
was your
Jasmine went
charm.
out.
It was your charm.
And we had like this great dinner, and I was like, "Yo, you got to push my car back out of the spot." I almost hit in parking structures.
Yeah.
So they're slanted. So I pushed my car out, and it starts rolling down the slant.
No.
You used to push it out and then sprint around like you're doing a fucking bobsled.
Yeah. Well, I was holding it, and it got an inch from a Rolls Royce.
Oh. Your story's kind of interesting too. Not to dive into, because Jim and I have done this too long. I hate like origin stories, because that's like the typical podcast. Like, why'd you start lifting, Tim? And you're like, oh, I want to be jacked.
How did you get into fitness?
Yeah, but your shit is something I commend too. Not to throw compliments out, but when you're drinking tequila and you can be vulnerable on podcasts, sometimes it's easier than when you and I are hanging out personally. You just took a shot to fucking make it. You're like, I'm 17.
He just took a shot at tequila
That's
as well.
you.
So
And you're like Barkwan has cool things going on. I believe in him. I believe in his message. I want to do directing, film, videography. I'm just gonna move to LA.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's some. You said you're a shy kid. That's some big cojones, bro.
I think with people I became comfortable with, but even when I first like met them, I was like super shy.
Yeah.
I just said hi. I couldn't really talk to them. But I think it was, I don't know if it was like a lot of luck, because it was a weird time where maybe they trusted me, but it happened with everyone, especially everyone with the following. I made them feel comfortable because I didn't really care about the following.
Yeah.
I just cared about who they were.
Yeah, that's weird. You asked me for a lot of shout outs.
Never. I didn't want to lose followers by you.
Just get a bunch of weird dudes following you.
Because I never really cared about the cloud. The only reason I cared about who they were is because the message they put out, or like who they were that gave me inspiration. But it's more weird on Bart's part for even letting me come in and move in with them, because like I think I just made them feel comfortable enough that they kept wanting me to come out.
What was that first conversation? Like, hey man, Barbell's cool. Let me film you.
No, it was we met at 2013 Corona in the USPA state championships, California state championships, and I saw him walk in. I first saw Gio. I said hi. I was like, "Where's Bart?" She was like, "Oh, he's coming." I said hi. I bought a shirt. I left. He's like, "Oh, I was saying some weird shit about like I'm a deadlift 500, but he was bullshitting."
Yeah, right, dude. You're flexing your PRs at him.
No, I would never. And then from there, I just kept tagging them in all my posts. I was wearing barbell all the time, and it's funny because we went to the convention center, and so Arnell, the one that runs WarCat, he was like my best friend from like 5th grade. And he would always see me in like at the school wearing like barbell and stuff like that, and, like talking about lifting when nobody worked out. But from there, I went to the USPA Nationals in Vegas, and I got like first place. I did a bunch of stuff. Well, I was the only one competing in my age group, so obviously I'm gonna get first. Yeah.
Sometimes you just show up and you win.
Yeah. I put in the work. I think I almost bombed out too, but
get
I got
3
first.
lifts, win the whole thing.
Back then, side tangent. Back then, if you went 9 for 9, people would talk shit on you. That you didn't give it your all.
I still do.
That still happens
Yeah, I
today.
still do.
That still
But if you go
happens
9
today,
for
I think.
9 and you beat everyone,
Yeah,
you're
sure.
going there to win. At least at the there's we were talking about this in the car about people go to set PRs and better themselves, and then there's the new generation which is cool to win.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah, it all depends on intent. Like, are you trying to PR? Are you trying to test yourself, or are you trying to beat someone, a record, or the meet?
yeah. So like for example, like Russ, he might not hit at nationals his biggest PR, but he's gonna take first.
Right. If he takes first, you can't really say much.
No, you should never say Russ anything.
Even though he should have gone a little harder. Sorry, Russ.
He fucking beat. I'm not gonna say that. He did amazing. But so then
Maybe push yourself once in a while, kid.
Put some weight on the bar.
I would shout them out. Not really shout them out. I would tag them. And then he
I
saw
built
that.
Bart.
And when I fucked up and we went to the airport at 10 a.m. I thought the flight was at 10 a.m., but it was 10 p.m. And I would always get randomly selected at the airports. So it took me an hour to get
Randomly?
through the whole. Yeah, dude. This is fucked up. But then they were like, all right, you made it through, but you could not leave the airport. If you leave, you're fucked. So we had to be there for 12 hours.
You're
My
just
brother
napping?
was pissed. Yeah. And but that's when Bart hit me up and was like, oh, shout out this, that. And he was like messaging me. He gave me like his number and stuff. And then from there, we just talked. He was like, dude, I'm going to open up a gym. You should come out. And I was like, I was too young to drive. But then from there, once I got my license.
You were a kid.
Yeah, I was a kid. And then once I got my license, I just drove every like 2 weeks. I used like financial aid from school just to like get a hotel and stuff. And then came down. And then from there, it was like, they would just leave me at the front. Like the other workers were like, hey, I'm going to go get some food. Can you just run it? And Bart and them will come in. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I guess I'm working. And then I started doing some videos for them. And they're like, hey, if you want to, I know you want to get into filmmaking. My plan was them to open up a barbell in San Jose. But then they were like, come to LA and we'll give you a job. And then I worked at the gym for 6 months while doing like 5 videos a week. I also got connected with Bradley. So we started doing like 3 videos a week for him. And even then, I never got paid for both.
Yeah,
But
just the grind.
Just the grind. And then after like 6 months, we were like, all right, let's create different divisions in the company. And we created a media department. And then that was like the rest of the story.
Yeah, I think it's cool because like even Sebastian and there's people that want to do what we do. Like, oh, I like being in front of the camera and I like coaching and I like entertaining people. But there's just as many, if not more, people want to do what you want to do. And you've done both, obviously. You've filmed your own YouTube, and you've done skits that are really high. But there's a lot of people that think editing and film is, like, the coolest shit in the world.
Yeah.
And they're just as inspired. And I don't want to speak for Seabass, but, like, guys like Duhan and you, like, that's who he looks up to, and that's what he wants to learn from. And Justin, he wants to learn from you guys.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
The only thing I think is weird is, like, why did they take a chance on me? Maybe I made them feel comfortable, but, like, if anyone comes now, maybe it was different back then. Like, if anyone comes up to anyone now, like, hey, like, I want to work for you, I'll move out. They'd be like, what the fuck? Don't.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the old guy saying? Luck is preparation meets opportunity. And that's where I wanted to dive in with Tim and even me. And I say it all the fucking time. Like, Mike, you got to follow. You work so hard. I'm like, I worked hard and I showed up. But we had, and our podcast is good, but we had the first fitness podcast on iTunes. You know, like timing is a lot of things. Like
maybe not the first, but probably the most diverse and the most comedy inflected. Probably not always intentionally. But
yeah, or whatever. The point is just that like there's so much luck into it, and I feel like you and some of it's probably on your part is imposter syndrome. You know, like everyone has some. But I honestly think and maybe some's my imposter syndrome, but maybe Tim has a different idea of his stuff. Because Tim, you've done YouTube for a very long time, probably almost as long as I have.
What would you say? Almost like 9-10 years.
So I've been on YouTube forever, but my channel I think is about 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been on Jim's channel and Mark's obviously, and Barquan's and Omar's and shit forever. So yeah, our timelines are similar. Yeah. And my YouTube did better in yours in the beginning. But your content's great. You're great. You're a great coach. You're a great entertainer. But your shit started to pop when you dove into TikTok.
Yeah.
And again, like, could you call it luck? Could you call it opportunity? You took the chance just to do it. A lot of things are just executing and doing it. What's some of your opinion, even on Nads? You throw them under the bus or not? But I think there is luck involved, because it's not like your content got 100,000 times better. Your content's consistently gotten better.
But you were on YouTube. You were doing pretty good. Like, I mean,
for sure. Yeah, I don't mean to downplay that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, your TikTok popped.
But then you kind of stopped around before the pandemic and TikTok era.
Yeah.
And then
me too.
The resurgence through TikTok.
It was just a little hard to do it at home, especially because, and this is kind of why I dove into Twitch a little bit, because, you know, if I'm going to be in the same spot working out all the time, it's like, how many different ways could I spin content in my basement? You know, so with Twitch, because you've got the people, and you know, you stream on Twitch too, so you're always interacting with your viewers. That's constantly going to be new content. I might have made a mistake of not, you know, recording those VODs and uploading them to YouTube.
Yeah,
for extra
I did the
content.
same.
But yeah, I just had to take a little bit of a break, because I'm sure you're kind of the same way. Really, everybody here. When content feels the same, you kind of just lose motivation over time.
Especially in fitness, bro. I talk about fitness being the hardest content on the planet because the deadlift doesn't change. Like, you can keep telling your story and some things change. You got to get really creative. My easy example is, because I did Twitch too, is gaming. Yeah. Gaming changes every week by them, not you.
Exactly.
They're updating the map. They're updating the gun. They're updating the skins. And it's like they're feeding you content. We're like, there's new powerlifting meets every week, but it's like just not the same. Like, it's hard.
Powerlifters are kind of boring, because it's like you want to switch up and you get bored of it, but they just want to see the lifts.
Yeah,
for sure. That's how the voiceover videos started. For me, was that it was boring.
Yeah.
This is super boring. And at some point, you know, the software got good enough to be able to do it, and we'd been involved in Bigger, Stronger, Faster, and there was voiceover over lifting content.
Yeah, some narration.
And then it's like, okay, well, if we do it instructionally, and suddenly we have the software to be able to do this, and we should just do this. And you know, it was never big until it was big.
Yeah, even that though, right? Like, those videos were gonna, even when I joined, they're gonna 1,000 hits. Then we do podcasts and we do some other things. You add in some flavor, and now shit goes crazy.
Wait, for Tim, when was like what got you into like making the content?
On TikTok specifically, or just in general?
Just your first ever.
So I want to say the very first channel I watched was Omar's channel. Because I don't think he's too much older than me. For context, anybody who doesn't know, I'm 29 right now, so I think I've been doing
same
this,
ballpark.
Yeah, so like 30, like late 20s, early 30s, right? So I watched him do it, and it was like, it might be a little bit weird. It's like, I was a little camera shy. I wanted to, you know, get out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I figured, why don't I, you know, be that student that could show everybody that you could achieve your own fitness goals, but still live a quote unquote normal lifestyle.
Were you in college?
I was in college at the time. Cool. Yeah. So I had just finished with community college because, you know, didn't have a lot of money. It was a, you know, free opportunity for me, get an education. The first 2 years of college, you're going to take the same classes anyway. So when I finally went to, you know, this private school, it's like, you know, I could diversify myself a little bit. You know, there's a dining hall. I could film myself eating some healthier foods, counting calories, counting macros, you know, recording your own workouts, which I'll get to in a little bit, which kind of sparked the idea of Gameday all that time ago. But yeah, I just wanted to really like document my own journey, show people that you can do it's the whole thing, you can do it too.
Yeah.
But then it just turned into, I don't know, just like a little journey throughout life. It's so weird. I remember recording my own college graduation. Like, I was that weird kid with the camcorder, like like waving it around, like, look at all these people at graduation right now. Which it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if you have the same thing, but like you could like take a video from like 2013. It's like, damn, I was this person at that time, and like, look at me today. So going into like the whole idea of Gameday now, because this kind of happened at the beginning of my YouTube channel, and I remember because I had a camcorder just like this, except it was like still filmed in 720. I think it was like Sony Nexion or Vixion, something like that.
Little like skateboarder, Best Buy special.
Yeah, but
all of these were purchased at Best Buy, by the way.
Back then, it was like weird to record yourself because, you know, social media today, everybody's got, you know, their fancy iPhones, recording anything and everything in the gym. Because
I feel like that's new. Like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, taking a selfie in public in a crowd kind of looked weird.
Yeah.
But like now, dude, everyone's phones out, moms, dads, grandmas, everyone's just snapping shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So normal.
Everyone has a tripod at the gym.
Yeah.
Even commercial gyms.
True.
Yeah. But this was way before then, like 7, 8 years ago. So I remember recording in my university gym, and I wish I still had the videos because they made me take them down. But,
The college did?
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. So I got an email from Student Life. It's like, hey, we see some videos on YouTube of you like recording yourself and deadlifting, and this is a private space. You can't be doing this.
Interesting.
And they threatened to bring me up on charges with the university unless I took the videos down.
Wow. I wonder if Ben Rice ever had issues.
What was that?
Ben Rice? You
Well,
know,
I think
I
still
don't think
does
he ever.
it,
I don't
okay.
think he ever did. I don't think
because he was smashing it. I think he
Yeah.
went to a small private school, and he would be. Ben's videos are funny because it's like such a small school.
Yeah.
This fool's pulling 800 on the shittiest equipment on the planet. So
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, but then I told myself that it'd be really cool if I had my own space where you could use chalk, you could record yourself, you could do this, you could do that. So that's kind of what sparked the idea of Gameday. But after that, I started watching Johnny Candido, which is funny because he goes to Gameday now, so it's like everything came full circle. But then I saw like, damn, this sport really has the opportunity to grow, and I think social media could be that segue into the mainstream.
Did you have that thought at the time, or is that hindsight?
What was that?
Did you have that thought at the time, or is that more hindsight?
It was like it was in the back of my mind because
I never thought like that.
Because I think Johnny was really the only powerlifting YouTuber at the time.
Yeah. Like pure. Yeah. Super
and-
training.
yeah,
probably
and-
him. Omar like dabbled.
Yeah, and then Max started doing it
Yeah.
too. But I wanted to be one of those guys, so I would record my workouts, record myself at meets, and eventually had to take a little bit of a break from it. But I think the break was good because it finally put everything into perspective. Like, I've come this far as an athlete. I want to open a gym. I built up a little bit of a name for myself, so why don't I focus on that bigger picture stuff and then finally get back to social media?
I think it's everyone. Like Guzman was probably doing 80 videos a fucking month before, and now he puts out less because eventually you have to grow up and you have to do business. Like YouTubing's great, but unless you're the top guy, unless you're fucking, I can't even name a top guy.
Yeah, like
Dobrik or something. YouTube's not paying the bills. It's a vessel to create.
I mean, I think it depends on who you are, but like kind of said, you use YouTube to build a career.
Yeah.
Last time we talked to Guzman, he was like, I want to get everything automated so we can go back to, because he's like, I love making videos.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like so creative about it, and that's like where he finds his fun compared to all the stresses and running a
logistics.
business, especially that big. Running any business is fucking.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's always a headache.
That's what's funny. Nico, Tim's roommate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stayed the night at our house last night, and he's a little bit younger, 24, 25.
24, yeah.
Yeah, it's like hearing him talk to me. He's like, "Dude, it's so hard business." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, welcome,
signed up
kid.
for this,
yeah,
dude."
welcome, kid." Like, yeah. He's like, "Man," I was like, "Yeah, dude. Like, there's fun in it because you're always constantly troubleshooting, and you have to be creative in a different way to problem solve on your own, and be super resourceful." But it's funny, like it's his first deep dive into it, and he's just really seeing like, "Oh fuck, this stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. It doesn't matter the scale. Like, obviously, when you scale up, it gets more difficult in different ways, but starting's really fucking hard too.
Yeah.
Like just how you flick the switch on for the first time ever is really hard.
How to even make it LLC and then all those
Right.
other processes and just
Yeah.
becoming
Yeah.
a business is like, you could YouTube it, but
Right.
still then it's kind of confusing.
Now now at least you can Google and YouTube it. I got my first LLC in 2009. I had no fucking clue. I walked to the state office and filled out a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think in Nico's case specifically, everything kind of happened all at once because, and everyone's probably going to hear it on the next episode because Joe and Nico, they're kind of on the come up with social media now too.
Yeah.
But Nico and Joe, they came up to me. It's like, we watched you on YouTube all those years ago, which I still find weird
Yeah, it's
today.
cool,
It's
though.
like, you're my roommate and you're also my neighbor, so it's like, that's a little bit funny. But with Nico, he's always been like a pretty strong lifter, and now his name's starting to get out there a little bit more. But now because like he's part of this world now that we've been in for such a long time, so it's kind of normal to us for us to sit here and have a conversation. Because he was texting me and Joe, it's like, what is life right now? It's like, I'm on Silent Mike's couch.
Yeah, he's in the back of the car. He's like, 2017. He doesn't talk like this. I'm just being a jerk. But he's like 2017. I bought gangster raps because of you. Me and Kyle just start dying laughing.
That's so tight.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It is cool seeing, like, we were talking about this on the way up here, where it's like how much all of us had an effect on, if you go to a 24, right, for example, all the kids that are lifting now are byproducts of a lot of stuff that we've done.
Yeah, they
or
either
just our
watched
friends.
us, something we touched, or one of our friends.
Yeah.
They either, like they watched a Max, or they watched an Omar, they watched a Tim. They watched somebody
Yeah.
that we know. Yeah, it's cool.
And it's I like sitting there, like it's almost like I'm looking at like my grandkids.
Your little sperm babies.
Yeah, I'm like none of these kids know who the. I mean, some of them come up with me,
Sure.
but a lot of these have no idea who I am.
They
but
for
I'm
sure watched a video you made.
Yeah, they've definitely got inspired, or the people that got inspired that they're inspired by were fans of the stuff we've done.
Yeah, it's like a family tree.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Larry Gow. Like I drove Larry to dinner one time here. He's like, yeah, I watched a lot of you and Bart. This is kind of weird in the car. I'm like, yeah, bro, but you're way bigger than I'll ever be. Right? And then the kids that are watching him are going to start TikTok in 3 years. And they're going to have 80 million followers. Yeah, it's cool.
Larry kills me because I saw him yesterday, obviously at the expo, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Larry. Do you remember when I came up with Bart before?" It's like, "Yeah, Larry, I remember. Like, I know who you are. I'm not gonna forget who you are."
Yeah, he's a good
at
kid.
this point. Like, so self-deprecating. So just
super humble.
Super humble. Yeah.
So I think kind of like segueing into that, like, how do you think TikTok has changed the social media game today? Because I have my answers like from a powerlifting perspective, but I want to hear you guys first.
I don't know about powerlifting specifically, because I'm just like when I started diving into TikTok was probably late. Like again, tip to you for being the new guy and like adapting. And I just was stuck in my ways. And COVID fucked me up emotionally. Not COVID itself, but which is weird because COVID did fuck up a lot of people emotionally and mentally. My timing was, or my issues were separate, but it happened at the same time, so it lined up the shit I went through. But besides that, like I just wasn't creating content at all. Oh, you need some more, dude?
Yeah, you want more?
No, rev him up. No, I'm good.
Don't you have a job to do after this?
Yeah, he's got a meeting. He's got a business meeting.
YouTube isn't real.
I don't have a real job.
And that's the end of the episode.
I think fitness as a whole, again, talk about luck or opportunity or what it was from 2010 to 2020, and obviously still now, went through such an insane revolution because of like just so many factors, like stars aligning, whatever you want to say, right? Like CrossFit got popular. Could you say social media? Yeah, maybe, but it was also just like this new, innovative, tough guy, barbell training type shit. The Candidos, the Omars, the Alan Thralls, the Barts, et cetera, made powerlifting go crazy during the same time. Social media in general, people, you could see what was naturally capable with Dwayne Johnson and The Rock. That helped a lot of people get into things during that
Everyone's
era.
favorite natty
Dwayne
vegan
Johnson
organic.
and The Rock?
No, Dewey Johnson.
Dewey Johnson, yeah.
And so like all these things just kind of happened at the exact same time. And there was like a level to things. You knew, like, all right, like Guzman's like top of the pyramid popularity because he's a good looking kid. He's super business savvy and he's very, very strong and jacked. You're like, all right, that guy's got, I'm making up a number, but 800,000 followers, right? And you're like, all right, that's the tip of like our niche. And yeah, you have the Ronnie Colemans and Arnold Schwarzeneggers. They're kind of like a different category. To me, TikTok kind of meshed all that and then like multiplied it by 6. And I don't want to get into politics. Who knows if the Russian bots and the Chinese bots and like views and all this, I don't know what's going on at TikTok. But the fact like our homie JPG Coaching, shout out, like that dude's got like 7 million followers. And you're like, oh, the level's a little different now. You know, things are changing quickly, which is great for everybody. It's great for the barbell. It's great for America's health. It's great for knowledge of education for coaches and gyms like Gameday and 3rd Street. So I think TikTok is like the icing on the cake that accelerated already what was going on.
I think it was easier access in this short, quick videos, you know? So it's like, it was a little bit longer than what Vine was, so people can actually put out information. The only thing I think with how it, for me, everything always has pluses and minuses. I think it always has way more pluses, getting more people into fitness, but it perpetuated how people gain success so quickly that most people are like, that's what I want. That's what I want to copy.
The instant
and most
gratification.
people, any way they get into fitness is dope, but then people that get into fitness for those reasons are like, I have to take steroids because my favorite 16-year-old takes steroids, and then they got the Lambo, and then this, that, and it's like, you see it like Russ posted something today where it was like a kid was like, hey, I'm 16, I'm thinking about like, do you think I should take steroids because I'm trying to get into bodybuilding? And he's like, no, like what are you talking about?
16.
And then Derek More Plates More Dates did a video about a 14-year-old taking Tren. And it's just like, it's because everyone wants that quick success.
For sure.
And it's like, we've been in it for so fucking long, and it's like, we know how long this shit takes. And the longevity of things, you know, where it's a lot of these people are like quick in and out, but it's so much fame, so much money to be made. There's so much all these things that I think we kind of gone through at the beginning when it was that peak like 2015 phase, where everyone was getting those Lambos, where at the expos everyone was trying to get at the girls, and then that kind of dived down into just the more like, hey, this is our daily lives.
Yeah.
To now that's where it had the extreme boom with TikTok, like times 10.
Yeah. I do wonder, because that's kind of like the phase of all social media. It's the phase of a lot of marketing in general, right? Like even like an analogy is like the supplement industry. Back in the day, brand new supplement would launch. They'd sprinkle some steroids in there. You buy that first pound of protein, you get insane results. Now you buy that protein for the rest of your life. Instagram, similar, right? Like the first 3 years, you could grow way faster and get more discoverability if you use the right hashtags and post it often. Now it's really hard to grow on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, I feel like is going through that right now. It's about to probably tip, where the early days, if you're an early adopter, you're making good content, you're using the hashtags, you're doing the proper protocols to grow with obviously quality content, you're going to grow really fast, and then eventually it's going to even out because it's just makes more sense for the platform to charge you to get eyes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook went through the same thing, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that old school or the new kids will learn like, hey, this is a grind. You'll have to do it. But I agree.
Until they become, virtual social media things where it just happens in your head and you don't even need a phone.
Oh, I'm in.
And I think that's
plug me in.
Yeah,
plug me in.
It's all metaverse shit. It
Sign
just
me up.
Happens.
I'm gonna have the greatest pecs in the metaverse.
I'm happy for the metaverse because I'm so like, I'd rather everyone move away from me.
Yeah.
And I could still live in the real world.
Oh, you think you're gonna be the president of the real world?
Me and Joe Rogan are gonna go hunting while everyone else is
plugged in.
Plugged in.
Yeah.
That's my life.
You're not going to see a soul on the highway.
He's going to be
No
on
one's gonna be
ayahuasca, and he's going to accidentally shoot you because he thinks that you're the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something like that. Some crazy thing that just appears to him.
That's
and
a good way to go.
It'll just be over.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
That's a good
well,
story.
you guys got to tell it for me.
Yeah. I'll write a book.
We will.
I'll write a book in your honor. What do you got on the TikTok take?
So what I was going to say earlier, because you said like I'm a quote unquote early adopter, kind of going back to the repetitiveness of content. Because TikTok is this new platform, that's an entirely new set of eyes on you. They don't know your name. They don't know what you're about. So it's almost like recycling your content. Yeah.
Which I've done a very poor job of.
So and I think like Omar's joked around about this before, but like how many videos can you make on creatine? Right. But you take that to TikTok, you get 2 million views instantly.
So you have to do another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're dumb if you don't, and more people need to learn. They do.
Mm-hmm. And my thing specifically was like doing powerlifting technique critiques, just because I've been in the game for a little bit of time. Like I'm a judge for USAPL, so I know how a lift is supposed to look. And if someone wanted to compete, it's like, okay, send me your video, I'll critique it. And because that that's getting more eyes on the sport of powerlifting as a byproduct, I'm growing because of a result of that. And that kind of just like filters into my other social media. Like I hadn't posted on YouTube for I want to say 10 months. But because I told everyone on TikTok, hey, I've got a YouTube channel, it like instantly 2,500 subs in a day.
That's sick. Yeah.
Never happened to me before.
Yeah.
So, but
which is kind of good, not to switch subjects, but that's how I felt my YouTube career went, is a slow chug, and I've never peaked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which feels good. Like, I earned these fucking subs.
Exactly.
I didn't go viral and go fucking, I didn't, drink tequila with my head on fire.
I think we were talking about this the other day, but like collaborations today, it's not going to be the same as it was back then. It's like if you see like, because Christian and Max are like basically best friends at this point. They're basically neighbors. But back then you see it's like Christian Guzman feet Max tuning. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to sub to Max right away. Today it's not going to happen
because you never saw them together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was a weird thing. You're like, damn. It was like a movie, TV or movie crossover.
Yeah.
I remember X-Men did a thing with Spider-Man in the 90s when I was a kid. I was like, oh fuck, what's Wolverine doing with Spider-Man? Dude, your little brains exploded.
Yeah. But I think the kids and maybe adults that see quick success from TikTok, I'm not sure if they're going to last nearly as long because they're not diversifying their platform and they're just sticking to this very short form content, this short term growth. Because with us, like we've been there for, like you said, like we earned these like loyal subscribers that are going to stick with us for a long time. Whereas with them, because they're taking a trending sound and doing like a 7-second clip to it, and they don't know their personality. Yeah, it's like, what gives all these followers a reason to stay?
That's what I was going to say with Nad's like negatives is like quick form content is awesome because it's digestible, you make it quick, but the thing is you can also just like cheat. So if you go on there like, yeah man, get your back flat, good job, boof. anybody can repeat that to anyone else on the deadlift. But the difference is when they meet Tim in person, say, hey, man, why am I keeping my back flat? Or how do I do that better? You could coach them for 3 hours on their deadlift. The person who just copies that content and says back flat, they're actually not a coach.
Yeah.
Right? And so like it's like more like the funnel tip of clickbait society.
Yeah.
And I forget who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Larry yesterday about where content's going, et cetera, and TikTok and how his YouTube's doing and how he's gone the opposite and he's pushing his YouTube because he likes long form content, but he still likes his skits, et cetera. And I said, yeah, man, like the attention span of humans is just extreme like everything else. We have TikTok where you're watching 5 seconds, but if you think about television, when we grew up, you're watching a half an hour show, which is actually a 20-minute show with commercials, and now the shows we watch, Ozark's episodes are like 150 minutes or something crazy, right? So it's on these extremes. You never watch anything in the middle. So like YouTube's kind of in a weird space in general, or Twitch. People watch 4-hour streams and they'll watch every second of it, or they'll watch movies, etc., or they'll watch TikTok. This middle ground, and I think it'll evolve and change. I don't think it's like a evolutionary.
I think with the TikTok thing though, it's like people can build a huge platform, but they don't know how to like change that to YouTube or Instagram or make money off of it.
Well, so some of it's a skill too. Some people might not have it.
It's a huge. Well, it's a personality thing,
right?
Too. So
you
it's
can
like
twerk on TikTok.
Viral, if you're making viral sounds or songs or whatever, when you go to Instagram, nobody goes to your Instagram,
right?
Or when you try to sell something or actually show you who you are, people don't care, because that's why I stopped my YouTube, because I had that video go viral and then people started knowing me for that video, and I was like, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of just chasing numbers and money and then get stuck doing that. Because I've also known people that built their whole careers off of one video and just kept doing that. And then when you do something else, people are like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see the thing I subscribe for.
Right. Where you want them, you would like, I would like a community that likes me and likes the things I like.
And that's why I like the slow growth, because I think this whole process is like, you can become a person and you could become known for something, but I'd rather be known for me, however long it takes.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather just have fun doing me, hanging out with my friends, doing videos like this, and just that slow, perpetual growth. But the money too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard. Yeah. It's actually hard to do slow.
Yeah.
Slow shit's hard.
So I think there's other things you could do in terms of like diversifying.
Yeah.
So it's like getting on TikTok, being able to transform that so they could see your long form content that could say your actual personality. But a lot of people, it's hard if you actually have a personality.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And I sound like a hater and an old guy doing it, but like there is like some people just don't have it. You know, and that's where I kind of knock like the Gary V's and stuff jokingly, where they're like, yeah, man, you could do it. Just post every day. Like 90% of those kids won't make it. They don't have it. You're not made. There's a reason George Clooney's fucking George Clooney. Yeah, there's luck and opportunity, but like they have it. And that's kind of what you're saying. Like, yeah, you can twerk on fucking TikTok and end up with 1 million followers, but what are you going to do? Do people care about your brains, your thoughts, or like who you are, what you're into? Is there likability? Can you speak on camera? Can you do these things?
Like if you were to take one random fitness TikToker and put them on this podcast right now, do you think they'd be able to like sit down and have a conversation with you?
I would say with the random one, no. And that's obviously our history, is we've interviewed everyone from every side of the world. And there's and not to sound cocky or whatever, there's a reason some people have really good conversations and there's a reason people don't. And there's a reason people are really good at this and not really good at this.
Who was the worst?
I can't. There's a lot of bad ones. If you listen to like the first 50 episodes, there's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Not of this show, but of the previous.
Yeah, this
one.
show's kind of all hitters. We have Mike Isretel and people on who just fucking kill it. You know, and then you get the fucking magicians like that, right? Where Mike Isretel's a doctor, he's jacked, smart as shit, and he's funny. Like you're like, oh fuck, dude, this guy's got it all.
Sometimes you just don't know. I remember when we were at the house and we had this TikToker come through. I didn't know who he was. It was just some little kid, 15-year-old, and he wanted to shotgun a Truly. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable giving you a Truly. I was like, you look like a kid. I was like, how old are you? And he was like 15. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, it's not on me. And they did it and I went away. But then next week, I see him on Logan Paul talking about how he just bought properties and he's making millions a month. And I'm like, at 15. And he's like super smart. I'm like, what?
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah. And I'm like, these kids, like, sometimes you talk to them and you're like, oh, this kid's literally just a low kid, and you see them in a different setting.
Yeah, for sure.
Super professional. So it's like, I don't like to judge based off of that. Maybe they're nervous or whatever. But then you meet a lot of, especially in fitness, the airheads.
Yeah.
Because it's based off of how strong you are or how you look. And then they base their value off of that, and they command respect based off of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we command respect based off of the respect we give to others and just treating people like normal people, regardless of, it's like, it's 3 strong guys and then Mike's in here, you know. So it's like we're still.
All I got is personality.
Yeah.
That's talk about like diversifying your content. That's something we talk a lot about, is diversifying. Not to be fucking your dad out here, but like diversifying yourself as a human. Like don't be so tied to anything. I don't give a fuck what it is: religion, politics, belief, lifting,
sexuality,
strength, sexuality. Like no joke. Like that's so real. Where like. I've known Joe and Tim for probably 8-9 years, more casually than we've hung out recently. But like we saw each other, we've hung out, we've had beers together in Austin, like little stuff. And me and Joe talked 80% about Halo. You know what I mean? And he's a powerlifting coach for 9 years. And
the game, everybody. Okay,
oh yeah, not
game.
Halo tested.
Just
steroid. My poor Joe's in the USAPL. So Halo the video game. And he's a top level coach, and I've coached in powerlifting for 15 years. Technically, we have more in common over there. Right, but I love gaming. He was a top level Halo player. I was, we have other things going on with our world and our life. So do we. So does Nico. We're talking about gaming the whole time. Whatever it is, there's more things to chat about than just dive in. Like, well, what are you doing with your sumo? Not that we don't want to talk about lifting, because we also really enjoy lifting, but talk about some of the TikTokers or whoever it might be or fitness in particular, gets so caught up in your bench press, or so caught up in
people just need hobbies.
My oblique cut. Yeah, like
and I don't think lifting is a hobby.
I think we were talking about that in the car, that people just kind of need something else outside of the gym.
Yeah. Because they only have the gym, then they go home and they think about it. We're going to shoot this sketch. I'll tell you guys ahead of time if you guys want to copy it. But it's about like, it's an interview about like.
Dude, we should do that. You should put your idea out there, because you have amazing ideas, and run a contest who puts your idea into play best.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And give them a prize.
That'd be cool.
I'd be down.
That'd be actually pretty cool.
No, it'd be a great idea.
I have 1,000 ideas a day.
Yeah, I know. You just come up with one, and you can maybe make a quick PDF, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll give them like a Barbell Brigade 3rd Street pack for the best video made.
Let's do it on this one. So the concept is, what has lifting done for you, right? So it's an interview, and it's like, the interview is asking like this guy, like, what has lifting, like, what's the most important part of lifting? And the guy's like, it's been like a big improvement for my mental health, And it's like everyone talks about how lifting is therapy, and then it immediately cuts to footage of them like screaming in the mirror, talking shit to themselves,
beating their wife.
Yeah, beating their wife, like getting super angst up, like angry for a lift. Their friends like, you're a piece of shit if you don't hit this. Them talking in the mirror about it, and then they go for the lift, they miss it. The whole day is reviewing that video, watching it, and it's like at the end of it, it's like, it's for my mental health, and it's like, it's so bad for you. And then the same one is like lifting for health, right? And then it's like people lifting up so much weight, like they could deadlift 500 but can't pick up a box off the floor. They're eating gummy bears while they're working out. They're doing all these crazy things. They're taking trends, steroids, and it's like
eating Chick-fil-A only.
It's so much opposite of what the fitness industry actually we thought it was. And fitness, we talked about this on the Barbell podcast, where fitness doesn't equal health.
Right.
At least being in the fitness industry, it's literally about just numbers, looking good. Like you were saying, when everyone would go out to the clubs, dude, like these fitness people would rage at clubs, being super sloppy. Everyone was everywhere.
And you don't have to be a saint, but you can do both. Like, you could be the strongest guy on the planet, hypothetically, if you got the genetics, all this stuff, and still be very healthy, mentally and physically. It's possible. It's not even close to. It's hard. All this is hard.
But I don't think it's a care in their mind.
No, it's not.
I mean, it wasn't mine up until recently too, where I'm like, I am getting older, and like, dude, my body fucking is rejecting me.
Yeah.
And it's
we just don't feel good.
Yeah.
And
I'm
sleep,
just like,
water.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to look good, be able to move weight. You took like a few years off of lifting.
Yeah, I didn't lift for like a full year.
Yeah.
Didn't do shit. All I did was Twitch 12 hours a day.
That must have been fun.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. I literally have 3 flights of stairs in my house, and I would go to the kitchen of my stair. I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
Where like yesterday, I whooped Bart's ass on an assault bike, and I was tired.
Yeah.
It was a sprint.
But just getting a hobby, like going back to that, where it's like, even I tell my girlfriend, because then she works, she goes to the gym, and then she's just at home, and like she'll do her stuff, but then I'm like, she'll wait for me to call her, talk, and stuff like that. I'm like, you should find something else you could do outside of the gym,
or at least try it. Try fucking golf. Try frisbee. Try anything. It doesn't matter. Food, cooking. There's a million things. Like, and you don't know what you like, enjoy, or the community that you like and enjoy until you do it.
Yeah, because there's a community for everything, and I think that's why people stay in powerlifting, because they meet all these friends. But
that's the only reason I'm in it now. Swear to God.
The community
that I stayed. Yeah. It's like guys like you and Bart and Omar. Like, if it wasn't, I would probably just like catch a bro pump and find a new job.
Bro pumps are amazing now.
No, that's all I did. Back and buys.
Yeah, but then like there was this girl at the gym, and she was just taking selfies. She's my friend. She was taking selfies. So I went up to her.
I'm
like,
talking shit.
Yeah,
well, she was at least before you started this story.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, I've talked shit about her to other people though.
Okay.
So and now to you guys. But
now to thousands and thousands.
I went up to her and I was like, "Oh, are you like working out or just taking selfies?" And she was like, "Oh, hi, just taking selfies." So I thought we were joking around. And then I was like, "Oh, what are you hitting?" She goes, "No, I'm just here to take photos." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Oh, it's my off day, but it's like I didn't want." Yeah, she was just like, "I just didn't want to be home." She was like, "I had nothing else to do." I'm like, "Dude, literally, if you are no school, no work, no."
There's
training.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things, and people come to the gym. And I was telling them, I was like, I love that we created a community where people feel like they could come and hang out, but that breeds a lot of.
But please don't hang out here if you're just gonna take pictures.
Yeah, well, it's like do something else, because then you get caught up with your whole life in just training, and if you have a bad day with training, you're literally not approachable at the gym.
Yeah,
you act like a sourpuss. You're doing all these certain things, and you're
getting old.
Huh?
You just said sourpuss.
I said it in the car today,
old,
too.
Dude. He's getting old, dude. That's an old guy saying. I say shit like that all the time. Doggone it.
And I just find so much passion in finding creativity in other things.
For sure.
And
that's how I design clothes and stuff. It's not because I barbell and then I put a barbell on a shirt. It's because of all the other shit I've done. It's the basketball. It's the music that I listen to. That inspires what I do here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it feels good to be a beginner at something again.
For sure.
And trying to find something new, sucking at it. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of have a hard time, where it's like you're afraid to start something new because you know you're going to suck. But I'm like, that's how you have to start. Everyone is in that same position.
It's kind of like a slippery slope, though, when all the hobbies still filter into fitness.
Well, the three of us are fucked. Like, we'd obviously say practice what we preach, but, like, we're all fucked because our lives are our business, are our hobbies, are our friends. And so now what do you do? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I shoot guns.
I know, but you know what I mean? It becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah, well, anything if you're busy.
Yeah, right? That's my point. And our busy is all in the same bucket.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, with my, like, hobbies outside of the gym, like, it's my way of, like, de-stressing. Like, I'll go to a driving range, hit some balls.
You golf?
Huh?
You golf a little bit?
Just driving range. Suck at golf.
We should go.
Yeah, I'll go tonight.
Hell yeah,
we got a 24-hour place right up the street.
We're going.
Yeah, it's sick.
We're going. But it's either that, go to the batting cages or even just, like, a walk, right?
Yeah.
But things I genuinely enjoy doing, like editing videos, like you said, like designing clothes, like all artsy-fartsy stuff, like editing videos, editing pictures, it's still for game day.
Right.
All this construction stuff, it's like I find that very therapeutic, but it's for game day. So it's like it's all these hobbies just still filter into the, and like you said, it's for the business, so you can't help that sometimes.
And if you own a business, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that today. Like, no, I have to do this.
Doing all the barbell videos, it made me hate editing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I totally hate editing more than I can tell you. I started in 2005, and I just couldn't after a while.
It becomes like the worst work.
Yeah.
You go talk to Seabass. That dude's more stoked on editing than anyone on the planet.
Well, I don't want to even warn him about
that's lovely. But, like, 3-camera show. Been doing a 3-camera show most of the time since 2014, and now we live edit. Yeah. So my son sits there and pushes the buttons. I used to have to do the whole show and then sit down and then do the whole show again.
It's the worst.
And then do the whole show again in the audio version.
Yeah, podcast editing is a whole other animal.
I do the podcast for Bar and Geo.
It's the exact same. And
so
ours.
they send me all 4 angles. And the first one we did a live, or not a live edit, but I edited it in Premiere. And it took me like 6 hours to edit.
Yeah.
And then the response was like, oh, too many cuts, this, that. And then we went to the 4 camera angles. So I was having to, like, even there, take all 4 footage, make it into a square, and there's 4 video feeds at once.
Right.
And then we went to just 1 wide because they forgot to send me the other footage. And I had to get it up. And then people loved that the most. We're just the wide shot, and we're just sticking to that until I'm like, get someone there when you guys are recording and live edit.
Yeah.
And it'll be the greatest thing in the world.
You chop up ours, though, yeah? The talk show? 3-camera chop up?
I don't edit anything. Either Justin or we have another.
But I'm just saying, it is the 3 video.
Yeah. And that's a bit easier. It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's pretty simple when you get to it. But then when you have like 4 angles or 3 angles that are hours long.
Yeah. It's a shit ton.
Your computer starts slowing down and skipping, and then you have to like sit there.
Your brain starts slowing down.
Yeah.
You fall asleep and you miss an edit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I did that.
Not to discourage a lot of people with the editing.
No.
I think like
as long as you do anything and the better you become at it, because you're so good at it or semi-expert, it's quote unquote easier.
Well, because we're doing the long
deadlifting.
Long form.
I don't get fucking stoked to deadlift today. I just deadlift. You know what I mean? Like, I'm deadlifting. It's just like what you do. I don't wake up and like, yippee, it's deadlift day.
Yeah.
I've done it for fucking 15 years.
Yeah.
Same with editing. You're really good at it now. You're not going to get stoked like, I'm going to try this new thing. Like, you know how to do this new thing.
I think how I kept training fun is my new goals are like the knees over toes, trying to get better, trying to feel healthier. So I still start with like the main lift. So I think I'll always power lift. I think it's important to do some form of like strength resistance. But I don't go as heavy because I'd rather move like, if I could move 315 on bench, like for no, and that's still fucking insane. I feel like for most people,
well above the American average.
Yeah, I mean 225, you're already in the top like 1%.
Yeah.
But if I could like bench 315 for 10, like always, no matter what, that's more impressive to me long range, and I can get a good pump, get a good workout than hitting 405. I'd rather be able to rep something comfortably, or rep 405 on squats, or rep 405 on deadlift for a long term and look good and feel healthy and still run, play basketball, do whatever. Then going for 1 rep maxes where I'm literally drained the whole day, and going back to the sourpuss, dude, all these people when it gets months off from their lifts are boring, tired, they hate their lives, and I'm like, what is it for? Unless you're at the top percentage,
or you love it, or you like it, or whatever. But same idea is like how many comments I get that I quit powerlifting, or like, bitch, I bench squat dead every week. Like, I think changing goals is another within everything. Is a huge proponent of not getting so locked into one thing, right? Like even you can scale out or scale in. If you're a power lifter, maybe it is a rep PR. Maybe it is I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle off-season PR. Maybe it's I've pulled 600, now I want to do 550 for 5. You know, you start to wiggle around these things rather than like PR, meat. Then you get so locked in, like all you know is powerlifting. It's all right to like, hey man, I want to be able to do a certain amount of calories on an assault bike after my training. I want to be able to ride my bicycle or go for a walk for 10 miles. Yeah, like it's okay to do those. It's not going to take away from these other goals and strength in the long term. Yeah, you're not going to be at your peak conditioning and your peak powerlifting.
Though to show on YouTube.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why do you think I'm not vlogging my 10-mile bike ride? Like some of the views are pretty, but I'm just head down, glasses on, fucking hauling ass. Like, it's not that interesting. Even though Nick Bear makes it cool somehow, I'm just not as cool as Nick.
I kind of had the same thing where, like, I'm sure you guys saw, like, I went to weightlifting for a little bit. I had to break up squat, bench, and deadlift. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And it's similar to you. It's like, if I could always do 315 for 10, it's like, if I could pull 500, like, walk up to any bar, pull 500 pounds, like, fine. Yeah, I don't care. But, like, I just needed something else to keep me interested in fitness, you know? Like, obviously, I went back to powerlifting because I suck at weightlifting. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of the same thing. It's like, you do it for such a long period of time, it just gets boring. It becomes very routine. Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, who was the first YouTuber that you ever saw on, like, that? It was, like, an actual YouTuber. It wasn't just, like, uploaded videos of Kai Green or...
So I was talking to Nico about that, and I watch Twitch a good amount now, and I have for maybe, like, 6, 7, 8 years. But I never, like, watched YouTube for fun.
Ever?
Never.
Who's, like, the original fitness, like, person that you see?
So I watched YouTube because I started marketing, and I started working in the industry. Or I'd watch it to straight, like, learn. But probably the very first is Scooby.
Yeah, we're talking about Scooby.
Scooby or like Elliot Hulse. Yeah. Those are probably the first ones that popped up, and I was doing all the marketing for Slingshot and like social media marketing, so I'd like send them stuff. But yeah, I never like watched. Like I don't know any like the makeup guys or like or makeup girls, or I'm sure there's makeup guys, whatever, or like the fucking food guys. I don't know any YouTubers.
I was super heavy into just like that scene of YouTube because I was like,
you watch Bart and then like JK and shit. Yeah. See, I never watched any of that. I didn't know that was a thing. I remember we were at the first house you lived with them at. I'm not gonna mention cities and shit, but we were sitting on the couch.
Alhambra.
All right.
I mean, they're not gonna find it.
That's true. That's true. And Gio. We're already like homies. Like I basically like lived with you guys every third month. I just stayed at the house, and Gio's like, "Yeah, you don't know what we do." I was like, "I know what you do," and then she showed me like all the old Bart clips that are like millions.
Oh, when we were watching on the TV.
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know any of that." Like I sent Bart clothes and shit to market Slingshot, and then I stayed with y'all and we became homies, and that was that. I knew he did YouTube, but I didn't know.
When I got into fitness, though, it was just to learn.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I was a little bit like that.
And then there was so many channels that were just like, I probably watched 1,000 videos on how to do a curl.
The percentage of quality coaches then was better than now. Yeah. So if you grabbed 5 random YouTube guys, like even Scooby, Elliot Hulse, and Omar, let's say, right? Like, there are three of the first and big ones. Those are all pretty damn good coaches, really. They didn't really put out shit information. Where I bet you if we grab 10 random YouTube channels now, we're going to find some trash info.
I think the thing right now is because everyone wants to be right. And back then it was like, you just train your ass off, you'll see results, right?
Well, and I think the bigger thing was that they were actual coaches.
Omar
started like 3 coaching businesses before he put out a YouTube video by like age 21. And me too. I owned my own coaching gym. I owned a gym and worked at a commercial gym for 4 years before Jim first put me on camera. So I had already been a fitness professional.
Well, I remember when Omar was in like the white, like long sleeve, short hair.
Oh my God, the short hair
on the track.
On the track. Yeah, like those videos were so like iconic to me.
He's so funny.
And then it's cool seeing he took from fitness to History Channel.
Yeah, that's a big crossover.
That's insane.
Yeah, it really is. But it fits him so well.
Yeah.
Like, he's so knowledgeable in some crazy shit.
It's crazy to see how long he's been doing it.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010.
I mean, same thing with Jim. Like, how long you guys been doing everything?
I predate YouTube.
Yeah.
I did videos
when
before
you start doing all this?
The first video that I shot in fitness was probably 2004.
Okay.
Would you say it was WeFile?
We transfer. But before that, there was actually a site.
Isn't WeTransfer the new one? I thought you could WeFile.
WeFile.
WeFile was a place you could upload videos to.
I don't
before
even
YouTube.
remember. There were 3 or 4 different ones, whatever. But and you were just sending those files.
Yeah.
There was a site called Iron Game, predating everything. There was a guy when I was at Diablo. One of the Diablo guys who was like, he was there and then he was kicked out, and he was there and he was kicked out. Just one of the smartest guys ever, but also just a real random element, let's just say. But he was completely obsessed with the site. He paid for it all himself. People would send him videos and he would upload them. Literally, it was like a regular website.
That's wild.
And then it's not like there were previews or whatever. You would click it and then it would like download to your computer and you could watch it. Crazy stuff, but it was all like old meets, things that, VHS rips. Every once in a while, you'd start to see people doing training videos and stuff like that. The first video that I ever released, I think, was a music thing, because I had shot a bunch of footage, didn't really know what to do with it, and you could just throw it into the computer and it would throw something back at you. It would cut it to the music.
Yeah, auto edit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was sort of the first thing I ever did.
I mean, it's crazy because that's all like businesses, and like starting a YouTube channel is considered a business. But like we've all been a part of opening gyms now. We all kind of like you're probably one of the youngest ones to open your own gym. Yeah, I know you're 29 or 28 when you did it, but it's like, how was that whole process of like, because you guys like people have opened gyms when they're younger, but they were like small basement gyms or something. But your gym is actually legit. It probably has like the most powerlifting equipment of any gym.
It's a little bit weird. It's and I say, like, without Joe, without Ricky, without Nico and Andrew, like, none of that would have been possible, because I originally wanted to open in New Jersey, and all the spots that I looked at, I could fit like 3 or 4 combo racks in here, right? And then we go down to Texas and take a look at this one place. It's like, oh, there's like endless possibilities here, and we kind of just like took a shot in the dark
For the same cost, probably.
What was that?
For like the same cost of.
Yeah, tiny thing. Yeah.
Texas versus New Jersey, more or less, yeah. But yeah, it's still a little bit surreal today, and even sitting here and like talking about it, I feel weird being away from it, because and I'm sure you got the same thing. Like we were talking about, like making a YouTube channel, like whatever you start, that's your baby, and you want to be there for it all the time, and to trust it in somebody else's hands, like it's just a little bit scary, right? But just going back to it, like whenever I walk through those doors, I'm like, damn, we did this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird. It's like, oh, hey, what's up, Tim? I'm like, are you new here? Like, we have members. This is like, it's working.
Yeah.
Because everybody's moving to Texas now. Everybody's starting a gym. It's almost like starting a gym is like the new starting a podcast.
Yeah.
So there's like gyms popping up, left, right, down. But yeah, we're making it work.
You're alive.
Yeah. I'm just at a loss for words. Like, I wish I had a better answer to that question, but it's just surreal. It's very surreal.
I think I don't want to speak for you, but for me, it's crazy because it's such a different feeling than online business. Mm-hmm. You do a YouTube video and you throw it out on the internet and you just forget about it and you let it kind of do its thing, and you don't see it, you don't feel it. There's comments, and that's cool. It's cool to chat with people online, but it's so different than, hey, Tim, love the barbell. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I bought that barbell. Oh, that dude like believes in what I'm doing. I see him.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe.
It's just so weird because, like, over the years, because I told you I had this idea of opening a gym since college, but, like, you train at different gyms over the years, you figure out what you like, what you don't like. Like, this one gym that I trained at in New Jersey, like, I would make suggestions to the owner sometimes. It's like, I think that, this would, really help your space. Like, I don't want to do this. But in reality, it's like that's the one thing that, could propel your business even further. So now that, we have the freedom to do that at Gameday, it's just really cool. It's really cool.
Well, I think because we've all helped thousands of people in fitness, and same thing where people have helped us, like when we would watch them across any channels, across just meeting them and stuff. But like through owning a gym, you get to see it directly. That people that go to your gym is probably the first powerlifting gym that they go to that they actually feel a part of.
Because as much as we think they're huge, because like kind of Barbell led the way in that essence, making like a public powerlifting gym. There's still what 10 of them. Like there's not that many. Yeah. There's not that many gyms that are made for powerlifting.
Yeah, it's very unique, and it's like you still go to commercial gyms and people are like they're using that equipment and they're happy. It's funny seeing people that are happy with the shittiest equipment because that's all they have, and they're just happy to be a part of it compared to people that go to some of the best gyms that still want more and more and more. But it's like a given in both. But having the access to a gym like that where it is like a Disneyland for people that are into fitness, that's where they would want to go. Now they get to go to your gym, especially having one in Austin where it's probably one of the first big powerlifting gyms that has all that equipment. And you guys probably have a younger crowd too that are coming in. Same thing with like all of our gyms where it's that we're the pinnacle for them in terms of strength. Yeah. They get to learn from us, they get to watch us, and then when they see you guys doing, like say they see you on this podcast, they're looking at you like that's the goal I'm trying to get at. Yeah. But they get to see you directly.
That's literally the best advice I give everyone is like, you want to power lift or you want to get strong or you just want to do anything, TikTok, it doesn't matter what you want to do. Like just show up. Like you can learn a lot by watching. You can learn a lot by listening to podcasts and YouTube. But like you actually want to get better, buy a membership at Barbell Brigade, buy a membership at Gameday, show up. Even ask Tim, hey man, what time you train? You mind if I just use the platform next to you? I'm sure, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure Tim will say like, yeah man, that's cool. And fucking soak it in. That's the best, most accelerated to learn and get better. If you want to coach, if you want to create content, if you want to be a good lifter, any of that is going to help you more than any degree. It's going to help you more than any YouTube video you could ever find.
Yeah. It's weird because like coming from, this social media background, and we tell people all the time like, hey, you could record like anything you want here. Like we even give people tripods to to record their stuff. Yeah. Nobody does that.
Oh really? Our guys use it pretty good
all the time.
Well, when I say like, people like obviously use tripods to like send
you don't see them like
videos
making
to the coach
content.
and everything.
Yeah,
but in terms of creating content, nobody does that, and I find like an odd appreciation for that because everyone's there just to train.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to wrap it up. Nadeem's got a meeting. And it's a beautiful end up.
Yeah.
Shout them out, Nads, where they can find you.
Go to Barbell Brigade.
All right, barbellbrigade.com.
Yeah, you'll see me there.
Barbell Brigade, Los Angeles.
Instagram, TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok.
Soon.
I haven't posted in like years, but
maybe you could chop this up. You could do your gems you threw out.
You could take clips from this, put it on TikTok.
Yeah,
gem
talk
it out.
Shit about the TikTokers taking steroids.
Yeah, dude, that's where you put on there.
Yeah.
Hit them, Tim.
You can find me on Instagram at Tim Thibodeau. Same thing on YouTube. TikTok is Timmy Timidome. Or you could just go to GameDayBarbell.com, go to the About section.
Are we saying it incorrectly with Thibodeau?
No, that's the joke, right?
No, so my dad says Thibodeau. I say Thibodeau because I think it sounds like Tim Thibodeau. I think it sounds a little bit better.
Yeah,
alliterative. Silent H and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you change your first name?
Isn't there a joke, though? Kyle said something, like an old meme.
Timmy Babadook?
Maybe
that's what it is.
Maybe.
You remember Simon and Garrett Aesthetics?
Yeah, yeah.
They came up with that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Who can forget?
February 4th and 5th.
You're also going to find us here.
Yeah, the real reason Game Day's here is we are throwing a USAPL. I don't even want to call it a meet, dude. We're calling it a fucking party.
An experience.
Yeah, with the Game Day
It's going to be
boys.
a game day
party.
Yeah.
So February 4th and 5th, USAPL meet here at 3rd Street Barbell with the Game Day boys. They're all in town. Be sure to share this, like this. New episodes every Wednesday, Friday. This following Wednesday, we're going to have the other part of Game Day. Sorry, Ricky. Besides Ricky, on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys for listening.
I am at the Jim McDonald on all the social media. The show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network, and we will talk to you on Friday.